Welcome to day 43 of cognitive drawing. Today we're going to do some foot tutorials. Now these are going to be really basic, really simple, so I'm going to go pretty quickly through them. Alright, we're going to just start with that basic triangle. Why a triangle, you ask? Well, because it's a really nice foot shape that we will see over and over and over again. So next we take that triangle, that same triangle we drew, with the block that, the block that represents the bone and the leg. And you can add another little rectangle into the middle. And it's kind of, at an interesting angle, so you can see that the ankle bones here are actually not even. So, as we, we're getting too far. Let's draw another line here and just kind of add some boxes to represent where the toes might be. Now let's try that again. We're going to start with our triangle. We're going to throw in that box, that rectangle shape that's crooked. We're going to do some ideas for toes with boxes. Now, when we start stretching that skin over, you can realize that, kind of see exactly how this triangle shape has really helped us. And then, just throw those toes in as good as you can. They don't need to be perfect. We're not trying to do a perfect drawing here. I just wanted you guys to think of these shapes and how you can turn them into an actual foot. Let's just erase some of these shapes now and see what it looks like. See that? Suddenly you have a foot straight on. And this is a hard angle to do as well, the foot straight on, because there's not much to it. That's why we like to go with triangles as well. Okay, we're going to just continue this, and now we're going to do the back of the foot. So let's start with that same triangle, still a triangle, that block, and then after you do that triangle and that block, you can kind of throw in a bigger rectangle or square on the back to represent that heel shape. And remember, you still have that diagonal rectangle too that will help us with our ankle bones. And we can throw a little square in there for a toe, and then the very last one, we'll do the same thing again. We got our triangle, we can throw in our toe, can throw in our square for the heel, our crooked rectangle, and then we can just start throwing some skin over top of this. And remember, we're coming out of the calf muscle there. It comes down, those ankle bones stick out. You can kind of actually throw in some extra lines there to represent the tendons that are stretching to the back of the leg, and then use that square that we put in there to kind of guide us for that heel, right? And then just follow that triangle. You can see the edge of the toe, and this is the small toe. Remember that this ankle bone that's the highest is on the side where the big toe is. So it's so that's why we know that this is a small toe. You can think this one's lower, smaller, higher, bigger, right? So that's just a good way to remind yourself. Big toe, highest bone. Small toe, lowest bone. Right? Now let's move on to profile shot. We're still going to start with a triangle. Still, triangles everywhere for feet. I love triangle feet. We're just going to bust that out real quick. Let's do that exact same thing again for the next phase. Next step, I mean. So we have our triangle. You can start throwing in some toe squares if you want. We're kind of adding some form and shapes to that now. And then we're going to do the same thing again. The leg bone, the triangle. We got our toe shapes, toe squares. Add these shapes to it. And then you can just kind of start drawing over top of this. You got the big toes, smaller toes, you know, you can get in there and get some details on those toes if you want. And then look at that, that ankle bone kind of fits right where that joint is nicely. There you go. Let's fix the back just a little bit. It looks like I went up a little higher than I probably should have. Obviously everyone's feet are different as well. This is underneath the foot there. You can just keep adding more details if you want. We can erase some of that stuff. And boom, you got yourself a nice foot. Last tutorial of the day. Let's get back into our triangle. Boom, we're done. Already you have the basics figured out for that foot. Another triangle attached to the board, or rectangle, whatever you call it. Add those same exact shapes that we were adding, right? There's the underneath side. You can add that, kind of cut out at the bottom. Do the exact same thing again. The triangle. We can add some of those shapes. And then we can just stretch the skin over top of that. And that big toe right there. So we know that this one is what? It's higher or lower? If the big toe is on this side, would this be the higher or lower one? Higher. And we got to just finish out this heel. Again. Made a couple little mistakes as I was flying through this tutorial. We're going to just erase a little bit. And suddenly you have a foot. Feet are a difficult thing to master. So congratulate yourself for being able to throw down a quick foot. All right, that is the end of day 43. Make sure to try to teach this to someone else. That is part of your assignment, is to show mom and dad, show friends, show family, show co-workers how easy it is to draw a foot now. And try to teach them these tutorials. And if you can really teach it to them and show them, then you've really learned it. All right, that's it for today. See you tomorrow.